Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Dark Angel would like to know, can you please break down how I can teach my child at home? We use play therapy in Canada, and I feel like play should be a part of the therapy, but not all. Can a child a pronunciation improve with time?
Yeah.
So,
So, that's a great question, Dark Angel. And a lot of play is, you can absolutely engage with play. But, the way that we do engage with play is to use it as an intermittent reinforcer in between teaching. So it's sort of, and you do use some play for teaching as well, but the concept of play therapy on its own, to me, it's not enough. It's not structured enough to catch the child up with all the different things they have to learn. Like there's a lot that our kids have to learn, right? I mean, you have a ton of material that you have to teach. So I don't think that play will get us there in time. But being playful and doing a lot of intermittent play in between the teaching is very important, because otherwise the child is not really interested or reinforced, right? Yeah. So I think that including play in an ABA type structured program is really important. In fact, playing, and then let me just separate that for a minute, because play skills are its own curriculum. Like there's a whole area of teaching children about play and how to play with each other and how to take turns and how to share and all those types of things as well. But, the concept of play therapy to me is a little, I feel like there's not enough time. And if you do just play therapy, to me, if a child that needs a lot of intervention, there's just not enough time. And you need to have a little bit more structure so you can get a little bit more content in.
I'm going to say this because I want to put it out into the universe.
Please.
I keep wanting to do some sort of a program or a show where we show actual really good ABA therapy.
Yeah.
Because this is the great disservice in the world that I see right now, that I feel like I constantly am trying to explain to people the color blue, and they've never seen blue before.
Yeah.
But when you see a really good therapist, like CJ Miyake comes to mind.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things that we've already talked about today, I can remember, and I had the benefit of ABA, but the way it was built at the time that I had it, I was forced to be at home, and I had baby cameras so that I could watch the whole thing, and I compulsively sat and watched it, which is why I'm sitting here now. Mm-hmm. And I wish that upon everybody, and I will say that some of the things that happened in COVID is that some parents were forced to be in their home and watching it, and they would write and go, I get it now, Shannon, I get it. But I remember the first time, my son was somebody who would go out every single door, and it was a struggle, and I would chase him, and I didn't know how to play with him, and all of these different things. And I remember the first time that a good therapist stood at the door, and my son went to open the door, and they just put their hand on it, and they said, my door, my door. And then they said, let's go do the marble run, right? And then he was like, oh, okay, then it's clearly not my door, it's their door, I can't go out it, right? And I was like, it's that easy? Are you kidding me? Now, it wasn't that easy. We had to do that a million times in a million different ways, but that one thing helped.
Absolutely.
That was one step on the way. But then they go over to the marble run and they go, whatever it was that we were teaching that week.
Yeah.
It could be, what color is the marble? And then he would say blue, and they would go, yes, blue, tickle him. And then they go, okay, you put it up. Should we do this or this first? And every single moment of that play with the marble run was something that they were teaching him.
That's
whether
very
it was
true.
Taking a turn or whatever.
That's
so it
very
was
true.
Incorporated. It was focused into, he had more fun than you could shake a stick at.
So that's actually, I'm glad you said that, Shannon, because that, to clarify, and let's talk about that for a minute. Yeah. So what they were doing with him was generalization, right? And that is when you get to the point of kind of using the concepts that you've already learned in the natural environment, and in this case it was in a game, in a toy, in a playful manner. But the key to it is that they had already mastered colors.
Yes.
And that is kind of where I was going, because if you start with just doing NET or natural environment play therapy, it takes a really long time to teach colors that way. And if you've done colors, let's say in a more discrete trial manner earlier, then generalizing it and doing it during real life is just something that happens naturally, and it's playful and it's fun and so on. But it is really important, you know, those stages in the beginning when you're teaching colors, it's a lot, right? It's like red on its own, then red against a neutral distractor, then another color on its own, then rotate the two targets, then, you know, so, and then apply them to objects, and then have color object discrimination. So it's a lot of steps that we do in teaching something, and then it's like, oh, okay, the child really does know now these colors, so let's take them and put them in our play, or in there, like another, you know, generalization for colors is like clothing, you know, getting dressed and picking the red socks or the blue socks or whatever it is. And then it becomes a useful topic, right, that you can actually do these things with. But a lot of people, like, play therapy on its own is missing that first part.
Yes.
Which is kind of the you know, trial by trial teaching of the concept. And that takes a long time. When you don't have that part, it takes a really long time to teach a concept.
Yes, but I think where the disconnect is, you know what the arc looks like. Because how many millions of times have you done it?
Right.
I know what the arc looks like because I watched it in my home over 4 years, 5 years, really. But I didn't know in the first year when they were doing it, I didn't understand it. And I just think when we see ABA, we see just the part where they're teaching in the trials. And that looks like it's not fun and the child is not having fun. But done right, that can be fun, and with all the things that are done around it. I just want so badly.
For
and the
people to
reason
see
why,
that.
for people to see that. And the reason why is because the most amazing thing happened when Jem was getting therapy. My mother came to visit when we were 6 months in.
Yeah.
And we were watching in the other room on the monitor, and my mother was like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." She was like, "Shannon, I'm so sorry.
It does look that way.
I know you've told me support or silence, but this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and that you've gone all in, and you're such a zealot for it.
It scares me,
It scares me for you because I feel like it's a cult that you now belong to." And I mean, we had that whole talk, and I said, "Just watch, Mom. Just watch." And she watched, and for over a period of 5 days, and at the end of 5 days, and they were doing the thing with him where they were teaching features of things, and they were like, you know, so, you know, what is it? It, you know, it's a bird and it has wings and all this stuff, and they were prompting him the whole way, and my mother was like, "This is so unbelievably stupid." And then by 4 days later, at one point, somebody put the little statue of the bird there, and they said, "Jem, what is it?" He said, "It's a bird, and a bird has wings, and a bird flies." And my mother stood up in the other room and went, "Oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. Why aren't people talking about this? This is a brilliant way of teaching people." And he's loving it. And she was a convert forevermore after that. And I always think, oh my God, if we could just show people that arc. Anyway, it's my soapbox.
You know, Shannon, there's so much. I completely understand. And I used to actually, when I had parents that would come to me in the beginning, and I would get a sense at the very beginning at intake, that I would get a sense from them that they might not do well with ABA. Right? And I would always suggest to them, why don't you go and observe someone, one of our other clients, and make sure this is for you.
Right.
Because it is a, you have to be patient, right? It's a very step-by-step type of intervention. But the beauty of it is that you master things step by step as well. It's not like, oh, we have these goals, and at the end of the year, you will be there. Right. We have these goals, and next week we'll be there, and then we'll add new goals, and then next week, you know what I mean? There's smaller goals, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you're at a point where it's like, whoa, they're all put together, and it makes sense.
Yes, but being able to see it is everything. I always
Yeah.
referred to it as the ABA. I referred to ABA as the autism miracle in my living room.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
still feel that way. And I'm going to keep singing that song. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here. Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time on autismnetwork.com. We hope to see you there.